All right, music fans, welcome. Harmless Dave here, talking about real music and real issues, and doing so in real time for a few real people out there, just like you and just like me. So, Daryl Hunt, I did not know Daryl Hunt. I wasn't really that familiar with his work, but he was the bass player for the Celtic punk band The Pogues. I knew of the Pogues because I had friends who loved the Pogues. They really weren't my cup of tea, but they are pretty interesting. I mean, Celtic punk, right? That just sounds like it might be pretty interesting to listen to. Um, in a tweet posted on Tuesday, the Fairy Tale of New York, that's one of their better known songs. The Fairy Tale of New York outfit writes, "We are saddened beyond words. Our Daryl passed away yesterday afternoon in London." Post also quotes the lyrics, "I know you want to hear me catch my breath. I love you to the end," from the Pogues tune Love You Till the End, which was written by Daryl Hunt, who was the bass player in the Pogues. Hunt joined the Pogues in 1986. 4 years after the group formed, he played with them throughout their initial run, which ended in 1996, and rejoined the group for their reunion in 2001, and through their most recent show, which took place in 2014. And that's the entire article. Daryl Hunt, bassist for the Pogues, dead at 72. Doesn't say what Daryl Hunt died from. And this is a trend now, and I know recently we had Olivia Newton-John, and everybody was fairly well aware of the fact that she had been battling cancer since 1992 when she was diagnosed. And, she raised a few eyebrows because she decided to use holistic treatments and natural treatments rather than going in to be zapped by chemotherapy, right? And again, in this age that we're living in, where people seem to be relying on certain products to fix their situation, the Daryl Hunt article here is interesting to me because it just omits stuff, and then my mind begins to wander, as it has now for the past 2+ years, really basically since last year, actually, since the beginning of last year, when something new came along, right? Something new came along. You can make a trip over to CVS or Walgreens or wherever. In certain countries, the UK, apparently they don't have Walgreens. That's what I've been told. But I'm sure they have other places, right? So everybody did what everybody was saying that they needed to do. And I don't know what Daryl Hunt's medical issues were, if there were any, because the article doesn't say. Now, why are so many articles coming out like this where, hey, they're gone, it's sad, and, we don't want to tell you why they're gone? And look, I may be just, making a big deal out of nothing. I haven't done one of these in a while where I look at an article and I'm thinking to myself, okay, are they going to say why? I mean, natural causes is a big one, right? Because people have been telling me that natural causes can be pretty much anything now. A natural cause sounds like, your body's really old and something just gave out, right? Just gave out, just like your heart stopped, your brain stopped working, whatever. Something kind of like, all right, you've beat your body into the ground. You've been around for 89 years or 102 years, and it's time. It's nobody's going to really argue with that all that much, but you can be a healthy 85-year-old person. You can be. It's not impossible. And then it would be kind of weird if you were relatively healthy and then all of a sudden you weren't relatively healthy. You were no longer functioning. You were, extinct. You were done. You were gone. So, not extinct. That's not the right word, but you know what I'm saying. It's like 1 minute you're fine. The next minute you're, lying there, not breathing. So it's just kind of weird to me that These articles continue to kind of pop up every so often. And one begins to think that maybe people aren't telling us stuff. Is that a possible? Is that even a reasonable possibility? I mean, it isn't. Do you think everybody? Do you think the news media, for instance, is honest and they're going to share all the details? I mean, they may have heard some details, or maybe the family. Hey, we need to protect this, whatever this is. What are we protecting at this point, right? Are we protecting something that needs to be revealed so other people won't have to suffer? Wouldn't that be a good idea, right? And look, I may be 100% wrong. And like I tell folks, I'd be happy to be wrong. I shouldn't even speculate though, right? I mean, the classy thing to do would just say, look, Daryl Hunt played bass for this band. He obviously was good at what he did. And there were people out there who loved the Pogues and loved his work in the Pogues. And we should just celebrate that and be happy, right? And yeah, that's fine too. You can do both. You can celebrate the work and you can ask a few questions. Just, hey, what happened to Daryl Hunt? Will there be a follow-up article? They didn't even say, hey, we'll have more information on what the cause of death or cause of death to be determined or something. They didn't even put that in there. So again, typically, when people die, there's something, a famous person dies and people are just curious, okay, what happened to Daryl Hunt? That's sad. 72, again, is not that old, people. For some people, I guess nowadays, wow, 72. I'm thinking to myself, are they recalibrating what it is to be old? Is like 60 old now? Is 50 old? 55? Is that old? I don't know. They have over 55 communities. I'm not in one of them, so I could be, but just the thought of that, I'm like, yeah, no, that's not what I want to do. It's weird because you get put into this category, and then psychologically, see, I kind of buy into the theory that it's a number. I've seen people who are in their 70s, even in their 80s, that I would have no clue. I met a gentleman who was 82 years old last month, I think. And I'm like, how are you 82? I mean, he looked like maybe he was 65-ish, So again, age is relative. Age is based on a number, essentially how long you've been around. Some people age really well. Remember George Burns, right? 100 years old, smoked cigars. And I mean, I don't know. It really is about each individual. And it's kind of weird that now we're just thinking, okay, he died at 72. It's sad. Let's just move on to the next subject. That's what it feels like. So anyway, people, these are observations. That's what I do. It's in the name. Thanks for choosing this channel. Don't forget to subscribe if you don't subscribe. Also, you can hit the bell for notifications on new videos. Patreon, I'm always looking for patrons. I got new patrons this week and tried to say hello to everybody who joins. And if you want to have a meaningful conversation, I will eventually catch up to you. It's supply and demand. It's supply of me and demand of the patrons who have questions or comments and so forth. I try to get to those in a timely fashion, but sometimes it's a little difficult when you're living your life, and you can't get to a computer or to your phone to use the Patreon app, which is now available for your phone. All right, people, that's the video. Thanks again, and I will see you soon.